Now, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni says government's plan is to lower the cost of doing business and to improve the ability of small businesses to thrive in South Africa. Mboweni allocated 4 billion rand from the Department of Small Business Development to township and rural enterprise, but there has so far been a slow uptake of the 200 billion rand government guarantee loan scheme by small businesses. Just 18 billion rand in loans has been approved by major banks for small businesses hit by the pandemic. Let's get you some analysis on the situation there. Director-General of the Department of Small Business Development, Lindokuhle Mkhumane, joins us now via our video link. Lindokuhle, thanks so much for your time this morning on the AM report. So it's quite surprising the numbers that we're seeing there. 200 billion rand has been provided in this government guarantee loan scheme for small businesses. Just 18 billion rand in loans so far approved by banks. What do you attribute that to?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning to your viewers. We are aware of that challenge. We remember the 200 billion is the scheme that is managed by the Reserve Bank together with the National Treasury, as well as the commercial banks. We are in discussion. We started discussion with National Treasury because the SMEs that are coming to us are telling us that there are some challenges with the criteria that is being utilized. They are also complaining that the banks, they still use the same criteria that they use, when the economy was doing well. So it's quite a challenge for them to take up this 200 billion scheme. But what we have done is that we've put together a proposal to utilize the Cooler Credit Guarantee Scheme, which is a scheme that has been there for years, that is being managed by the Reserve Bank. It's a company that is a subsidiary of Small Enterprise Finance Agency. We've put that proposal together, so it's being considered by National Treasury because at least they do understand the SMME sector, especially the black-owned SMMEs, because that's where the biggest challenge we are facing is.
So it's more of an administrative issue rather than small businesses not taking up the scheme announced by government?
Yes, because the complaints that we are receiving, it's people who are writing to us and say, I've been a client for this bank for years, but when I come and apply for a relief, they are rejecting me, citing things that they have never cited before. So it's the issue of the criteria that is being utilized. But we are also having a discussion next week with the Banking Association next week, just to look at this again from their side, and also we share experiences and see how we can work together in ensuring that this money is accessed by small business.
Yeah, because it defeats the purpose, isn't it, if small businesses affected by the pandemic are not able to, or are prevented to the point of so much administration that they can't actually get that life-saving and business-saving help.
Yes, that's why we are committed to work with the banks. We have to make sure that we find a way of assisting banks.
So, Lindokuhle, if you can tell us plainly now, in terms of small business owners who will be watching this program and perhaps affected by this issue themselves, you say as the department you'll be engaging with the banks. So what's your advice now if I am a small business owner, I've been rejected in the past for seemingly new criteria? Where to from here, and what are the kind of timelines we're looking at?
Okay, the other thing that we are doing as a department, we are not sitting and just waiting for the banks to come to the party. We also have what we call a business viability scheme, which is also aimed at assisting businesses now to come up from the lockdown period. We're assisting them with relevant skills, relevant technologies, relevant equipment. So there is that facility that they can still access, which is you can access it through our website, which is www.smmesa.gov.za. You can be redirected when you get to that particular scheme. You can also engage with our Small Enterprise Finance Agency in the meantime, because we know that the money that we have is very limited, but the 200 billion guarantee scheme can go further. So that's why we are engaging, because we need to access that. We need to make sure that we improve. So we are hopeful that Treasury will come into party in considering this proposal that we submitted to them, because it's still managed by National Treasury as well as the Reserve Bank. And just to assure you, the Cooler Credit Guarantee Scheme is regulated by the Reserve Bank. So it's the same way the commercial banks are regulated by the Reserve Bank. So we are hopeful that definitely we'll get a proposal or response from National Treasury this time.
Yeah. Let me just read that website out to our viewers who will be following this story, perhaps who are small business owners as well. It is www.smmesa.gov.za. So, Lindokuhle, one of the other issues that was raised by the or announcements made by the finance minister in Parliament yesterday is this allocation of 4 billion rand over the medium term to township and rural enterprise. And it says it includes blended finance initiatives. In terms of what this means on paper and how it translates to township and rural enterprise, how will we see that come to fruition?
Okay, the township, the money that is allocated to township and rural areas is allocated to all the informal businesses that we have in the country. Remember, under informal businesses, we have people who are specializing, for example, in personal care. We have people who are doing chisanyama. We have people who are doing automotives. We have people who are doing the fruits and vegetables. So it's quite a number of sub-sectors within the informal sector that we are working with. What we've done, using the district development model that was launched by the president, we've engaged with the district municipalities as well as the municipalities, the provinces. We've gone around the country explaining the criteria that needs to be met. So we have our offices of SIFA and SIDA all around the country. They are ready to accept or to assist these informal businesses to register. But it's critical for us to explain that we are also making sure that we work with businesses that are legitimate. So it's critical that it's businesses that have permits from municipalities, that is especially for informal businesses that are involved in fruit and vegetables. We're also looking at those businesses that are based in the townships in particular and rural areas. So the criteria is a little bit flexible, but we want to make sure that it's people who are legitimate, who are operating legally. So in the near future, municipalities should be able to also assist us in dispensing this money to these informal businesses. But for now, the colleagues can, or SMMEs can access it through our Small Enterprise Development Agency as well as Small Enterprise Finance Agency offices there. The people there are waiting for those applications to come through. So it's 4 billion over a period of 3 years. So 3 billion of that is going to township and rural areas.
I mean, massive challenges faced by small businesses, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the most serious issues is that of cash flow. It means that businesses simply cannot function, Lindokuhle, in terms of government and big business, and that commitment to paying suppliers within 30 days. As just one example of solving the problem of cash flow with small businesses, where are we at?
Okay, there are two things that are happening there. National Treasury on the side is dealing with the issue of delay in 30-day payment period. They have a dedicated a facility that deals with that through the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer, but that only assists people who are dealing with government. But people who are dealing with businesses, there's still a gap there. What we've done, I'm sure you might have seen that we've gone out with a draft bill, which is aimed at establishing what we call an SMME Ombuds Office, which will assist our SMMEs to deal with these issues, because you will understand that when SMMEs are dealing with big businesses, the big businesses have more resources. So if they don't pay you, they can ask you to go to court, and they know that they can drag you until you run out of money. But so we are coming up with this Ombuds office, which will assist us. So the bill has gone out. We've received comments. Now we're taking it back to cabinet in the next 2 months. And then after that, it will go to parliament so that we establish this office as soon as possible, because we don't have any other legal instrument that can assist our SMMEs. And we know that this is really killing small businesses. So that's why we're coming up with this instrument, which will make sure that SMMEs have access to justice in a very cost-effective manner, because they know they won't be paying for the services. But if you go to court, you need to have lawyers, and small businesses cannot afford to pay lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. Lindokuhle Mkhumane is acting DG in the Department of Small Business Development. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the AM Report. And if you are a small business watching this program, head on over to the government website, particularly as it pertains to accessing that life-saving funding. It is www.smmesa.gov.za.